Here are the highlights of the race, and right at the get-go, Thorne not giving it up easily, but Cooper able to nose ahead, then count them four, Compass 360 Honda Civics, but Cooper's lead was short-lived, Cal.
It was. Up into turn 2 here, you can see him get really sideways. He had to change a tire after qualifying, and that's given him some problems in the early going.
Yeah, said the balance was probably going to be off. He wasn't sure how much he's going to have to slow down, and apparently not quite enough. So you can see he dropped well back, even a little contact there with Tom Lepper. Now your Optima Best Start Award went to Brad Adams, who started 17th in his first appearance in the TCB category, improved 3 spots right off the bat. So congratulations to Brad. In this race and the second race of this double-header format, we'll explain, the start is a rolling start, not a standing start.
Here we come down into the reconfigured turn 7. And there you can see them duking around, looking for position there. Thorne in the K-Pax Volvo holds the lead, but a big battle here between the Compass 360 machines. Look at that, 2nd through 5th right now on the track.
Exceptionally close racing. 71 is Lamb, again 2nd in the points. Behind him, team owner Carl Thompson sitting in the 3rd spot, and Lamb taking a look at Thorne. And Cal, these two guys were going to battle side by side for an awfully long portion of this race.
Absolutely, and for Thorne, he recognizes that Lamb is in the thick of this championship chase, but Lamb needs to maximize points, so he is on the attack.
And they continue just side by side through long stretches exactly like this. You can see Thompson behind, and then the 72 team car, the Lejeune Industries entry of Ryan Winchester up from 6th, and Shea Holbrook in the True Car Honda right behind in that battle as well. But this was just some stellar stuff, Cal.
Great part of the racetrack here, up the hill into turn 2. Thorne hangs on to the lead. Then look at Cooper here. He's trying to recharge his way through this field after that slip on the opening lap.
Picked up that spot as he got around Shea Holbrook there in the True Car entry. Meanwhile, what was unfolding back in Touring Car B, Connor Ford in the Honda Fit, number 45, had himself a great race, had qualified 2nd, got around Russell Smith, and you can see was able to open up a pretty significant gap over that battle that was unfolding right behind him at this point. And it was a great run by a first-time starter, Steve Guttrell, the rookie, in another Honda Performance Fit that was able to work his way around Russell Smith in that Rio and pick up that 2nd spot. Meanwhile, Tom Lepper right there, that white Chevy Cobalt. Watch what happens here, Cal.
Big moment going through turn 1 when he hits the racetrack, gets up on 2 wheels and bicycles for a moment.
Defined the word bicycle, I think, in terms of 4-wheel application. Meanwhile, this tremendous battle for 3rd. Look at that. Thompson, Winchester, Holbrook. The team cars, and watch Holbrook's move here. This would end up being rewarded later on in the day. She went from 6th to 3rd in one shot. Awesome stuff.
Fantastic move there, and she has really gone from strength to strength this year and is really a factor in this championship right now.
Yeah, this has been a breakout year for Shea. She's got the funding from the folks at True Car to put together a top flight package, and she also has got some tremendous coaching, and it's paid off big.
Got a little bit wide there coming through this corner though. Turn 4, you can see it there, just really pushing hard, picked up a little bit of understeer, feeling the pressure from Cooper. This is for the final spot on the podium.
Some tremendous racing, but up in the front, it was Robert Thorne in his debut, the debut for the season of the K-Pax Volvo C30, and he makes it pay with a wonderful win, and a fairly dominating one at that. This is the car that Aaron Povoleto won a race with last year, sat on pole as well. So some awfully, the car, tremendous potential to be sure, and Thorne showing up and giving it one heck of a ride.
Yeah, and certainly Todd Lamb will be disappointed with getting knocked back, but still strong points for him today.
And coming home with the win in Touring Car B, the 45 of Connor Ford. So a superb job by him as well. As you can see, he had himself a bit of a margin. His Honda Performance Development Honda Fit. After a 15-minute break, the Touring Car and Touring Car B-Spec field regridded based on finishing order from that first 25-minute sprint for a second 25-minute race. And Robert Thorne in that yellow K-Pax Volvo had the pole, but Cal didn't really get the start he wanted.
Just didn't accelerate. And look at Michael Cooper, the championship leader, right behind him. He gets balked a little bit, so it's Lamb out front, followed by Shea Holbrook.
Again, an opportunistic move by Shea. She jumps into 2nd, Thorne 3rd, then Cooper 4th. And that blue VW of Travis Wolcott, watch him as this race unfolds. He was going to be a player, but that problem at the start, Cal, again, changed the complexion of this points championship.
Absolutely. Todd Lamb is 2nd in points. He needs to win this one to really put the heat on Michael Cooper for the final round here. Here we see Carl Thompson, Best Start Award, It's got to be tough for the other Compass 360 drivers if they complain about the race car. Guess what? Your team owner is out there battling with you. Here we see a bit of action in the early going, Greg.
Yeah, that was Don Ishtuk just getting into Peter Schwartzat, and of course that let Carl Thompson through, all part of making your way up in that opening lap. Making his way up as well was Cooper, who got a hold of Lamb finally, and then we had this race, and this was going to be like this for laps.
Yeah, this is sensational stuff. The two guys going for it in the championship, really duking it out here, corner after corner. Now, these guys weren't allowed to change tires after the first race here, so they've got to really manage these tires here for rounds 2.
And this is interesting. Todd Lamb, very experienced driver. Michael Cooper, this is his 3rd year of racing, and these two guys both raced like they were consummate pros. And look at this move. Big dive bomb move by Russell Smith down to the inside. And then, talk about, I mean, just pinched that exit completely, had no exit speed, and Connor able to just go right back by him and into the TCB lead. Meanwhile, this battling continued. Look at Cooper dive into the inside, then the outside of Lamb, and here comes Wolcott through on Holbrook.
Wolcott is looking really strong here. He takes away the 3rd position from Shea, and in the TCB class, the battle continues at the front.
Yep, Ford was able to, as we saw, get back around Russell Smith and then actually opened up a couple of car lengths. These guys were going to continue to put on a great show back in Touring Car B-Spec. And the battle, though, was absolutely full on, still at the front of the race overall in Touring Car. Look at this move here as, again, Cooper trying the outside of Lamb, and Lamb refusing to give him the opportunity to shut the door. And now, just enough speed there, Cal, noses ahead.
Well, one thing that Todd Lamb thinks he's got in his favor is that his car manages the tires a little bit better. He anticipates that Mazda going off a little bit towards the end, but right now, it is still really strong.
And look at this, both guys off into the dirt as they're working Touring Car B-Spec traffic going around points leader Jonathan Start's Fiat.
But look in the background, Wolcott is closing in on these leaders.
Yeah, look at the drive he got out of that turn, and this is going to be huge. He chooses Lamb as his drafting partner, pushes Lamb clear of Cooper, and then squeezed Cooper just a little bit, Cal, and that's about as big a lead as we've seen anybody have in this class.
Yeah, he tried to go side by side there through turn 2, lost the front end a little bit. Meanwhile, in TCB, Russell Smith down into turn 7 again, takes the lead.
Yep, that's for the lead, and this is the one that was going to stick, and he was able to close the deal, get out front, and manage it all the way to the finish in a good run in Touring Car B-Spec. Again, both classes putting on great battles for the win, and you'd love to see it. And Connor Ford didn't give up by any stretch, but he just didn't have enough left in the quiver to go for the lead. This was a great battle, but now for second in Touring Car.
Yeah, in the dying moments here, Travis Wolcott gives it everything coming off of turn 6, but gets a little bit wide, and that opens up the gap for Cooper once again.
But up front, on his way to his 4th win and doing what he needed to do, closing those points up, keeping this race alive literally for the championship, Todd Lamb in the National Karting News Honda Civic. An absolutely superb race. And coming home with the win in the Touring Car B-Spec class from Hamilton, Bermuda, Russell Smith doing a good job getting his first win. There's the celebration victory circle. When we come back, the 3rd and final round of the Touring Car and Touring Car B-Spec championship. Cooper and Mazda doing what they needed to, pole. The points for driver, points for manufacturer, a point. And at the start of this one, Cal, Cooper finally getting the start he needed, got to the front. Travis Wolcott slotted into second, and then that big, huge group of Compass 360 Honda Civics.
The perfect start to the very important final race of the championship season for Michael Cooper.
And you see that yellow K-Pax C30 Volvo making a good start. Well, by the end of that first lap, Robert Thorne was going to move up 3 positions, and that gave him the Optima Battery's best standing start for the 3rd race of these triple header weekends. Because there's no short period between 2 races, they do go with a standing start as usual, and boy did he get a beauty, and he continued to move up through the pack. Great battle here for second. As you can see, Cooper already getting away. Wolcott, Lamb, Thorne, and then a big moment for Carl Thompson.
Yeah, quick off and on in turn 4, and Thorne was the man on the move early.
Speaking of man on the move, look at Jonathan Start in that Fiat, who's been struggling a little bit. Now that the championship is clinched and he's carrying a little less rewards weight, some good aggression there down to the inside. Another beautiful move here by the 71 of Todd Lamb, picking up that 2nd spot, or at least briefly. But look at this drive out of that turn 7, Cal.
3-way battle here for second, but meanwhile the leader Cooper is gone.
Yeah, he really had it hooked up and dialed, so these guys were the war at this point. Look at this move here as Thorne down underneath trying to get by Lamb. And if he makes this pass stick, obviously Lamb, oh, and there was a little bit of contact right there, and it moved Thorne way out of the way.
Patience will be the order of the day now for Todd Lamb. You can see the championship leader, Cooper, extending his lead, but he's still got to hang in there and get valuable points in case there's a problem with our leader.
You saw when those two were looking at the secondary contact, Lamb got out of it, realizing if he breaks, any shot of a championship is over. He's already losing points to Cooper. Meanwhile, good run there by Ryan Winchester coming up and doing battle with a very fast Travis Wolcott.
Yeah, Wolcott there, you can't really make that move stick through turn 2. He has to give it up once again. Look at Shea Holbrook, big move coming off a 3, narrowly misses Wolcott down into the brake zone for turn 4.
You wonder if she didn't have a little target fixation on Travis Wolcott, as he was just a little wide as well, both of them getting into the gravel. Here comes Winchester again in the attack mode, this time cleanly by Thorne.
Down into that chicane,
well,
but he runs
semi-cleanly.
Yeah, not quite clean enough. Manages to hang on. This is for 3rd position right now.
Yeah, those two had a great scrap as this race unfolded. They were able to gap Wolcott. He would drop back just a little bit. And no matter who had the point, the other guy came right back at him again. Meanwhile, we hop on board with Brad Adams. And the guy you're seeing go by is the 92 of Jeff Lepper. And Jeff started in Touring Car B-Spec dead last, was making pass after pass, and suddenly found himself in a position to go to the lead, which he did right there, got around Russell Smith, and then behind them, Connor Ford and Russell Smith, a bit of algy-baji.
Absolutely, coming off of turn 6. These were the guys who were duking it out for the win in round 2 here at Sonoma, but meanwhile, Lepp has taken the lead from the very tail end of the field.
The only other time he's driven this car, he did this similar thing, started at the back at one of the races at Miller and gave us some onboard commentary, if you recall. Today he was playing full-on race driver. He lives 23 miles from this track, started racing here in the early 90s. It's home and he knows it. But behind him, these two guys still giving each other a little bit of hit and rub here on occasion.
Superb performance by Lepper, and then you see the Kias running 1-2, but here we see Shea Holbrook in a battle with Walcott down into turn 6. He gets in a little bit too deep, turns him around.
And she was going to get a penalty for that, a loss of some championship points and a slight fine for avoidable contact, and was able to continue, fortunately, for both of them, although dropping well back. Up front, it was exactly as Cooper would have wanted it. Pole win championship.
The 6th win on the season. When the heat was on, he turned it up. What a great performance when he had to make it happen.
In only his 3rd year of racing. We'll tell you more about that in a minute. And for Jeff Lepper, starting dead last, backed off a little bit to get his teammate Russell Smith. So the two kinetic Kia Rios doing a photo finish in Touring Car B-Spec at the last race of the championship. But a great drive by Lepper. And he does a great job doing commentary for the series. But obviously, if they put him in a car full time, he'd be a player there as well. Nicely done. For Michael Cooper, he's done with it.
Well, if they want to take the engine after the race, there's not going to be much left.